Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's have a look tonight at Bmnr, a stock which just appears to keep dropping at the minute, down a further 2.59% in the last trading day. The question is the trend slightly slowing? Are we about to see a bit of a turnaround, or does downwards motion continue for the next couple of days with Bmnr? I'll be giving you all of my personal opinions based on what we are seeing at the minute. However, do remember, as always, this is not financial advice, it is simply my personal opinions based on what I am seeing. If you do enjoy these sorts of videos, please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe, it does help me a lot. But yeah, let's jump straight in. Now, first thing that stands out to me is the 5-day trend here, right? We just know this stock is moving down 15% over the last couple of days. The past month now is becoming even more flat. Since the highs, we are seeing the stock down by 31%. However, we're still up by 36% because initially this stock was up big. Now, the past 6 months really highlights this in more detail, initially seeing rises well above 2,000%, and even up to where we are right now, 821% up. That doesn't mean that we are going to continue to necessarily move up though, and the question in a lot of people's minds is this likely? Is this even possible at the minute? Well, let's have a look at the charts, let's have a look at the facts, and I'll give you my opinions. Now, I've been saying this for a few days now, and I know that not everyone's going to like this, but hey, I'm going to give you what I see as being the reality, right? And my reality for this stock right now, if I can get back to the right chart, right? I'm trying to zoom out a little bit. My reality for this stock right now is we are just moving down. We're just moving down consistently for days and days, for weeks and weeks. We're just seeing this one move, again, in this pattern where there's seemingly no real levels of support which are holding. Now, this is something that I said was likely to happen, but we are now actually coming very close to historical levels of support. We've lost all of this range here. It looked like it was going to be possible for a brief period of time, that we were going to find our new support in the $47, $48 range, but it didn't happen. Now it's really about seeing if we can even hold onto the 39, 38 range at the low end, potentially at the high end where we are now, maybe 42, 41. Somewhere in this range between 38, maybe even 37 at the low end, again, these lows that we've seen, and at the high end potentially 40, 42, 43 at a push. It's about seeing if we can remain in this channel. This is absolutely the zone to watch, in my opinion, with this stock right now. We have seen a lot of volatility. We've seen a lot of movements in the past couple of weeks, really. But now, with most of the movement being downwards, it is as simple as seeing if we can just hold on to this point, this level of critical support. If we are not able to hold on to this, guys, I think there's every likelihood that we're going to be dropping as low as 30. If we can't hold on to that, you've got even lower lows to come. Do I think it's more likely than not that this stock is going to see 40, maybe even 38, 37? Yes, I personally do think it is more likely than not. I might be wrong, right? I may be wrong, but realistically, I don't really see that much of a slowing in momentum. You know, if tomorrow is a relatively flat day, maybe we're looking at some consolidation, which is great. But I think at the very least, we're going to see this one touching 41.83 in the next day or two. I think there's every likelihood of this. Now, the stock is actually up by 0.5252 cent, 1.22% in the after hours as of yet. However, just like what we saw here, right, it's important to not necessarily get too over-enthusiastic by the small rises. However, this is a volatile stock. There is every possibility that we're going to hit somewhere in this range between 42 and maybe even 38, and then we just hit an immediate bounce up. We've seen that in the past, i.e. here, to a degree in some points here as well. It becomes very volatile, or it has at this range before. So is that a possibility for now? Yes. But if I was to give you my personal opinions, guys, and I know not everyone's going to like this, but you know, my job here is not to tell you what to do. That's not my job at all. All I'm here to do is share with you my personal and honest thoughts and opinions based on what we are seeing right now. If I had to guess, if I had to give my viewpoint, I think it's more likely than not that this one's going to go lower, and therefore I personally at the minute would avoid buying. You may agree, you may disagree, you can let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this short video, and I hope I will see you again soon. Goodbye, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's have a look at Hbar. A very interesting pattern is now forming here. You may or may not be able to tell what it is, but I want to bring this to your attention in today's video. We're going to be looking at what's going on, what might come next, what I personally am looking for. I'll be sharing all of my personal thoughts and opinions too. If it sounds like a good video, please do make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. However, at the same time, remember, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Anyway, the pattern that we're going to be speaking about today I think is quite blatant, quite obvious, right? We are seeing this one hold and bounce off of levels of support in the 21-cent range. This is particularly interesting. We've seen this one come down as low as 21 both once, both twice, and also 3 times here. And the question is now, is this the potential for an opportunity of a turnaround, or do we just see this one go lower and lower? Now we've seen recent highs not even too long ago, right? This is only going back to July, where we saw this one hit 29. That is, of course, relatively, comparatively a sizable increase. And if we zoom out to the 1 month chart, you can see this in more scale. Even the all-time chart, this becomes more apparent. Right, you can just see some of those highs just there. And the question is right now, do we have that potential for a turnaround yet again? Do we have the possibility that we're going to see this one break out, potentially go up from here? Well, again, it looks like, and again, it may, depending on your viewpoints, be a little bit soon to say, but it absolutely looks like we may be starting to formulate somewhat of a bottom here at the 21-cent range. Now, this is obviously significant if it is able to stick. We've seen this one in decline, again, for quite some time now. We did initially bounce off of a few levels in the 22-cent range, but now the question is, will 21 stick? If it does, that is going to be a perfect bottom, and so far it appears to be working, right? Generally, we're finding this bottom between 21.1 and 21.2, so you can see those specific levels here, and the question is, where do we go from here? Well, I think a few things are obviously apparent. With a 2% gain right now, as of today, there is that potential to see this one go up, right? The momentum is here. However, we are now coming up to a very significant level of resistance that we have had difficulty at a few times along this journey. Most notably recently here, we have struggled to get into the 21, or I should say 22 range. It's that simple. A break into 22 is going to set us up in a new position, right? 22 is the first level to break above. Past that, we're looking to push up past 22.3, then we're looking to push on to 22.5, maybe 22.6, and eventually, hopefully, onto 22.8. Again, this is a very interesting one to be looking at here. It should go without saying that this is going to be a relatively high risk, high reward play. But we're now seeing this one move to a point where we are arguably finding a bottom. We're arguably finding a point that we are finding some stability here. And again, have we been lower than this in the past? Yes, we absolutely have. Is that worth considering? Yes, it absolutely is. But is there that potential? And again, I'm not saying guarantee, of course not. I'm not saying certainty. And again, likelihood, that's even in your own opinion to make up, right? But is there that potential that we could bounce from here at 21 to 22 to 23 to 25, maybe onto 26, maybe onto 29? Well, it's not impossible, is it, right? It's absolutely not impossible. Now, if this level doesn't stick, if for some reason we are not able to maintain these levels, I think there's every possibility from there that we're going to be seeing this one drop even lower. Could be looking at 20, could be looking even lower than that, which would therefore represent relatively a significant decrease. However, this is an opportunity, a potential opportunity, that I did want to bring your attention to. And even if you're not interested in this one, or even if this is something that does interest you, there's a few things that I personally would take in mind, right? The absolute low of this point to watch out for is going to be at the very lowest. I'm going to call it 21.1, right? 21.1 is going to be significant to watch out for. A drop below that and a drop below previous levels does indicate a new low, does indicate the potential of going even lower than this. A breakout above, like I say, 22 and into that range could begin to indicate somewhat of a trend reversal. Although if you're looking for a more strong confirmation, you might be looking to go into 22.5, 22.6, maybe even 23 before you get that absolute confirmation. Either way, guys, it's going to be a risky play. Should be aware of this, and that's why I recommend that you do your own research. But do I think that this is a very interesting point to watch out for? Yes. Do I think this could be a very interesting point to enter the play? Yes. Those are the key levels that I'm looking for in the next few days, guys. Again, I'm not here to make your minds up, I'm just here to show you the levels that I am paying attention to. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We need to talk about NEO stock today. Now this really has been quite the shaky day for NEO. Initially in the morning we're seeing shares absolutely plunge, but we are coming back very nicely, and to me this is actually quite impressive. We are bouncing off our previous level of support, which we have caught way down at 608, and actually finishing the day quite nicely at 658. This, despite being shaky, does signify, in my head at least, a lot of strength regarding the stock. And I'll give you my personal thoughts and opinions on everything that we are seeing today. Obviously the reasons behind it. We'll take a brief look at the earnings as well. If it sounds like a good video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe. It helps me a lot to continue to make videos. At the same time, remember, I am not a financial advisor, and therefore this is not financial advice. I always encourage you guys to do your own research. This is simply some of the facts that I am currently looking at. So, with that being said, let's jump straight in. And you know what's most important, I think is to look straight at the earnings for NEO. So NEO's Q2 revenue jumps 9% to $2.65 billion. We are seeing NEO Inc. revealing on Tuesday, obviously today, that its total revenue in the second quarter of the fiscal 2025 came in at 19 billion yuan, around $2.65 billion, rising 9% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, the net loss stood at 4.9 billion yuan, slowly narrowing from 5 billion registered in the same period a year ago. In addition, the reported trimester, a net loss per diluted share amounting to 2.31 yuan, down from a net loss of 2.5 in the recorded time 3-month period in 2024. Vehicle deliveries standing at 72,056 for the quarter. That represents about a quarter, as in 25% of an increase annually. So, as the outlook posted, NEO expects deliveries of 87 to 91,000, up 40.7% to 47.1% year on year, and total revenues of 21,812 to 22,876 million yuan. Bit of a weird way of writing it, right? But yeah, there you go, right? That is what is going on at the moment. Very, very interesting stuff from NEO. Now, this has been taken in a number of ways. I think ultimately there is a lot to say from this. I think it depends which angle you want to go for here, right? The most, to me at least, important thing to some degree is the fact that NEO is seeing company growth. It is seeing sales growth, and that is very impressive. I think now that things are moving and that things are seemingly speeding up quite a bit, it's getting quite impressive. However, at the same time, the net loss is something worth paying attention to as well. So, going back to the stock price itself, I think what we're seeing right now is very impressive for a fair number of reasons. Number one, I don't think that many people expected NEO to essentially be able to maintain these prices after earnings. I know there were some people who thought this was going to be an explosive period after earnings for NEO. People always speculate, but I believe that amongst a lot of people, the general consensus was that NEO stock was inevitably going to drop. And it's quite interesting to me that we've seen it come down, bounce off of these levels, and go even higher. Now, this is significant, and I want to reflect on what this means. Now, ultimately, the first thing to note is how strong today was. Going back up and looking at the chart, from the lows to the highs, this is a gain of about 8%, not insignificant at all. Very good day for NEO stock. Now, I think it also highlights the fact that we have a lot of strength in these levels at $6, $6.10, right? Very, very good sign. I'm very impressed by that too. And it also shows that the upwards momentum potential is still here, as we didn't crash. Well, we did a bit, of course. We crashed a bit, but we didn't massively crash. We didn't go below levels that we have kind of locked in since hitting these new highs on the stock in the last recent period. We've continued to maintain those, and now we're actually pushing very close to our next level of resistance to the upside. Absolutely impressive. So, what do I want to see for NEO stock now? Now that we've had our earnings, now that we've seen all the results of the speculation and the like, what do I want to see now? Well, I think it's very simple. I think the next levels that I'm looking for is to maintain above our levels of support at 645, our levels of support at 630. These are, again, we've seen a little bit of support at 645 here, and most at 630, again, here and here. That would be very important, right? It would signify the gains that we have seen, or the growth that we are currently experiencing is sort of locked in. That would be a very nice level to stick to, even in a worst case scenario. So to the downside, I wouldn't like to drop much lower than that. Of course, our most fundamental level below that is going to be all the way down at 610, but those are the levels to the downside. Now, if I was to give you my upside prospects of what I'm looking for here, it's actually really simple, right? We've broken above our levels at 650, 655. It's about seeing if we can maintain above those. 655, maintenance above that is also going to be interesting and important. Levels that we have seen difficulty at here, here, and also here, right? 650, 655. Past that, you guys already know what comes next. We're trying to break above those highs. 680, beyond 685, 690, 695, ideally onto $7. Ultimately, though, I want to say one thing. I think today has shown a lot of strength for Neo stock. We're still technically moving in the right direction, even if we did crash out a bit this morning, and it's about seeing if that is going to continue into the next couple of days. I will, of course, be here to give you my personal thoughts as time goes on. If you enjoy these daily update videos, please do subscribe, it helps me a lot. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. I hope I will see you again soon. Goodbye for now, guys. Hello guys, welcome back to what is a very happy day for Open Door stock. If we have a look over here, we are seeing the stock rise by 14% today. This is absolutely perfect. And you know what? If you watch my updates from both yesterday and Sunday, you will know this is exactly what I wanted to see happen. I think things right now for this stock are looking absolutely magnificent. We're in a brilliant position. And I'm going to be giving you all of my personal thoughts and opinions on both what we have seen and what we could see in the not too distant future over the course of this video. If it sounds like a good one, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It does help me out a lot. But as always, guys, please also remember I am not a financial advisor, and therefore this is not financial advice, and I encourage you to do your own research. But yeah, subscribing would help a lot. Anyway, let's jump straight into this one. Now, again, if you watch the updates that I've made over the weekend, I said that things were forming up very nicely. We found this pattern where, yes, the stock had been rising quite consistently. We've seen just constant uptrend, and then a downturn came. I think this was almost inevitable at some point, and actually is a healthy sign of a stock doing well. After all, what do you expect, right? This company is up. Well, let's have a look at the numbers. If we go to 6 months, this company is up even to the lows, 600%. It is absolutely normal to see drops of 10, 15, 20%. So in context, I don't think that these were actually that big. Anyway, we eventually hit $4, bouncing straight off of that and finding our more realistic support around 410, 415. Now that actually worked out brilliant. We saw the momentum to the downside really starting to slow, and like I said, guys, today could have been either the day where we broke below that trend, or the day where things actually form this beautiful pattern and we get the confirmation that there is more potential for an uptrend here. And seemingly we got the latter, right? We got the likelihood, or the possibility at the very least, of the trend changing to the upside. Now this is significant for a number of reasons, in my opinion. I think the most significant thing is this shows that the momentum to a degree is still there. I mean, 14% in a day is not a insignificant move, and the concern in a lot of people's minds, especially when stocks rally this far, is what happens next. How likely are they to continue to rise? And whilst it's impossible to say with any degree of certainty, I think this is definitely a very bullish sign that momentum potential is absolutely still there. Other notable things for today is that we broke above 493 and actually into the $5 range. This happened actually faster than I expected, to be honest. I thought this might happen tomorrow or in the next couple of days, but it actually happened straight away on the first trading day, which is very impressive. So, opening up, going straight above into the $5 range by the end of the day. This is absolutely spot on. Now, going forwards into what I expect for the next few days. Well, ideally, this one's going to continue to form this upwards trend, hopefully some sort of a cup and handle pattern perhaps, and just generally move upwards. So far, things are absolutely working out in this manner, but there are a few important levels to break above yet. Now, most importantly, we're looking at 530 a level of difficulty here in the past, and really even staying above $5 is going to be absolutely significant. Again, what would be obviously perfect is another explosive day into tomorrow, potentially taking us up to 584, maybe into the $6 range. However, that could be a little bit optimistic. Really, remaining above $5 tomorrow is going to be absolutely fantastic. Higher than that, I think we're looking at levels at 580, 587, 590, and then potentially into the $6 range. Now, levels of support that we want to establish. Previous levels of resistance have been around 686, 685. We've seen that be a resistance here. However, this also does have some historical significance as a support, again back here. So this could now be our new level of support, right? 486, I should say, 485, 486. If we can hold on to that into tomorrow, absolutely brilliant. That is a downside target in the worst case scenario. But really, we don't want to see any downside tomorrow. We want to see this pattern continue to form. And again, taking us above 570, 580, things get very, very impressive. Overall, I think today is absolutely perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see with this stock. And again, it depends what you think of this one, right? It's for you guys to make your minds upon. But in my opinion, I think this does highlight the fact that a lot of momentum and a lot of potential is absolutely or potentially still here with this stock at the moment, which is very impressive. Let me know what you think to this in the comments, guys. Just a quick short video, but I think this has been absolutely spot on. I couldn't have really mapped out a better day if I had tried myself. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. This is just my personal thoughts, but yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe as well. It does help. Thank you. See you again soon. Goodbye.